I want to get into the first 4 games of the Raiders season. We're going to do this first 4, second 4, third 4, and then in the 4th week, we'll talk about the last 5 because there's obviously 17 games. I think the Raiders, my prediction on the year, and as you know, I've done this for decades. You've done it with me. I give a ceiling. I give a floor. I think the ceiling on this team is 9 and 8. Excuse me. I think the floor on this team is 7 and I put them at 7 and 10. But I think they're going to get to 9 wins because as you know, I don't predict injuries. So if Jimmy Garoppolo stays healthy, I think they go 9 and 7. I think they start 1 and 3. So we're going to go through these 4 games because I think you and I disagree a little bit. I think you're saying we got to know what the Raiders are by October 1st. I think they're going to be 1 and 3 and still finish 9 and 7. So the first game is they go to Denver on September 10th. I think they lose there. Then they go to Buffalo on the 17th. I think they lose there. Then on the 24th, they host on Sunday Night Football the Steelmen. I think they get a win there. And then on the 1st, they go to the LA Chargers, where I think they lose. I think they start 1 and 3. Again, I've said 7 to 9 wins. I'm predicting 9. Your thoughts on my analysis?
What I see for the Raiders schedule is you're going to find out what you're working with by the end of October 1st. The first thing I look at is competitiveness. How competitive are those games? You've got, I believe, a sitting duck in Denver. You've got a serious best-in-class challenge with Buffalo. You've got a pretty close to best-in-class challenge with the Chargers, and you've got the Steelers. So I'm not sure the record is going to be great. I would think it's probably going to be 2 and 2, but that's just because in the NFL, everything seems to squeeze towards that number. But I think you're going to have an idea of what you've got competitive-wise. Here's what I mean. If the Raiders get flat blown out of a couple of these games, somebody's going to get their hand and start getting ready to push the fire alarm. If they are very close in all the games and somewhere around 2 and 2, well, all of a sudden, maybe you've got a chance to put a good season together and get stronger through the year. So the most interesting thing to me of those first 4 games is how competitive they are, because they've got 2 really good teams that they're going to play.
How funny is it to you that here are the Raiders coming off a bad 2022, and they still get 6 primetime games? I mean, the NFL understands the power of the brand known as the Raiders.
It does. And look, the brand is more exciting and better in Las Vegas because it just feels a little more permanent. Look, there's nothing like the Oakland Raiders. There never will be. But as soon as that thing moved and came back to a nearly dilapidated stadium, it started to lose some luster. There's a lot of luster right now for the Raiders. And as soon as they get back in a consistent winning mode, they're going to be featured more and more on these national games because people just tend to tune in.